Okay, so the next one up is a course that you may have heard of if you live in the DC area. You may not have heard of, but if you haven't heard of the name of this course, you've certainly heard of a course like this course, in the sense that it's one of these shadow, undercover, dark ops, black ops kind of courses where you have to be a member to play there. And this course is called Chantilly National. Not Reston National, okay? Chantilly National. Two different things, two different animals. I'm pretty sure Reston National is not a private course, but Chantilly National is a private course. Reston National is way out or down, depending on whether you're coming from Leesburg or going out from Alexandria. Certainly Tyson's. It's way sort of in the middle of those two is where Reston National is. And you never have to forget that you're going to drive through traffic to get there. I think no matter where you come from, unless you're literally already in the area of Reston, you're going to have to get through some lights to get to Reston National. And that's one of the annoying things about it is there's nothing but traffic lights. Even you come out 267 toll road, take the toll road to Reston, you're still going to have to come through, some local traffic lights to get to Reston National. And it's surrounded by, Sun Valley Road or wherever that road is that runs around it. It's like a little racetrack that runs around the side. It's in Reston. It's in the heart of Reston. There's no question that you are in a city course when you play that course. This other course, Chantilly National, is hardly like that at all. It is tucked away on a sort of quiet side road off of Route 28. It is just north of I-66, and it is just south of Dulles Airport. And I would say the primary factor out of all of that 5 minutes or 2.5 minutes that I just talked about is that the course is just south of Dulles Airport. Okay. It is as bad as Pleasant Valley, Laurel Hills, a lot of these other courses that are along the flight path into Dulles. You're inundated by jet noise on this course. It's nice, for the half an hour between major landings, but there's going to come a time when, you're going to have A340s, A360s, 787s, 767s, whatever, flying not too far over your head. I mean, they're not, it's not as bad as Bear Creek down in Dallas, where they're literally skating right over your head. But they're there. They're a force to reckon with when you're playing. And the course is, again, a flat course. And what do we get for this private course? We get a flat course, we get a nice clubhouse, we get definitely a nice staff there, very attentive and so forth. But it's still like, a golf course, basically. It's not like, they're out there in a top hat and tails and white gloves. They're basically guys running around there in these green Izod shirts and shorts and so forth. Not really very different than any decent upscale or even moderately upscale course. And it's a nice place, but it has this weird vibe to it, in my opinion. First of all, it's not really that great a course. That's one problem. Second of all, it is bone flat. I mean, just board flat course. And so in that regard, what it has are, okay, there's one or two holes that have some verticality, but not much. What you have is a decent layout of a course in a neighborhood that's mildly upscale, that has some rather average looking houses in some parts and some decent looking houses in other parts, and some fairly nice looking but still not really upscale houses on other parts, and not a lot of influence from the houses on the course Certainly they're at a respectable distance most of the time. There's only a couple that you could see possibly hitting by mistake here and there. Some backyards that you could get into if you hit a long iron or a wood and it goes off to the right or left. There's definitely some places that you can get in someone's backyard. So to me, that makes it an average course. Okay. If I'm playing a course where I have to worry about hitting into someone's backyard, I can think of a whole lot of courses like that are not private or wish they were private or whatever. So that was one, kind of thing. The other thing is, aside from the jet noise, I mean, there's some nice holes on the course, but it still has a kind of rough look. Like number 10 is this dogleg left, and well, it's sort of a Z-shaped dogleg left, but it's not all that great of a hole. There's a pond there, but it's not like a nice pond. It's just like a reservoir there, and then but it doesn't have this really great feel to the course. I think the course I played out on 95, it was just south of Beulah Rock. I played that at like a month or so ago. I thought that was a better looking course, and it certainly wasn't a much fancier course, but it was a better layout. I what was it, Mountain Green or Mountain View or something like that? I actually thought that was a pretty darn decent course. It wasn't an outstanding course, but it was a pretty good course. So this course, in my opinion, wasn't even that good. It was okay as a golf course. If it wasn't a private course, I would say, hey, it's okay, whatever. It's not anything great. It certainly would be a nice course to play. It certainly would be an interesting alternative to, say, Pleasant Valley, which is maybe 2 miles, further out towards Leesburg. But the main thing is, if I were going to take Raspberry Falls, Brambleton, Algonquin, South Riding, Stonewall, trust me, there are a lot of golf courses in that area. Some are private, and there's some like International and some like Army Navy, Country Club, and put all those in a pot and put my hand in there and reach in and grab a course to play. There's only 2, maybe 3 that I would regret playing. One of them would be Brambleton, the other one would be South Riding, and this one would be the bottom of the middle of the courses of that set. Raspberry Falls, to me, is not at all that impressive a course. It's better than Brambleton, but it's definitely not much better than Brambleton. And both of them are $80, $90, $100 courses. You put in Bull Run, Bull Run's decent, certainly, but it's not. I would say it's a challenge for a lot of players. They maybe don't necessarily have the game to play Bull Run and really enjoy it. You have to be able to play a tight course in the woods and enjoy it to really enjoy playing Bull Run. And I don't think that really suits a lot of players. Like Raspberry Falls and Bull Run are just night and day in terms of the course layout. But this course, Chantilly National, was somewhat in the middle. I mean, it had decently wide fairways. It was some nice holes, definitely challenging golf shots, but it just lacked that panache of polish, as a course. It was okay. It was not merely a golf-like substance. It was okay, but not great, not outstanding in any way. I would certainly say that it had more appeal, more panache, for the most part, than 1757, but 1757 has some really nice holes on it. There are some exceptionally decent and good holes on 1757, while there are some parts of it that are more or less throw-ins, I would say. You can't really put down most of the front of 1757 and about half of the back. That is a course. There's no question that is a legitimately decent golf course. It has its weak points, but for the most part, it is a good, B+ level course. This course was I would have a hard time saying it was more than a B, honestly, as a golf course. Now, don't get me wrong. It had some nice holes on it, some decent holes, but nothing above average. And to me, the weakness of this whole place, I guess, the wholeness of the place is nice clubhouse, absolutely modest course, okay, but a whole lot of attitude, a whole lot of I'm a member and I paid this and I paid that, and our club has 900 courses around the country, and it's X, Y, or Z to play, and there's nothing worse than having to pay a lot of money to play an average course. I think that's the biggest ripoff in golf. It's up there with having to pay a lot of money for a golf club, which in 10 years will be worth $100 if you're lucky. And you could probably find it at a decent pawn shop or secondhand shop for less than $50. I mean, don't get me wrong, and I think that the advance of technology is all fine, well, and good, but I am not going to go out and buy a TSI or a TSI2 or whatever, TS2i, whatever it is, TS3i. I'm not going to order one of those online for $600. It's just not going to happen. Okay. I'm not going to go into a golf shop and buy one for $350. And I've seen, plenty of these clubs in golf shops as a rental or whatever. And I remember that place, old Gunpowder or something in Pennsylvania. I mean, that place was chock full of clubs. It was a absolutely expensive, mind-bogglingly expensive golf course for what you got. Same thing, you go in there, you walk in, you buy, they had a very nice selection of golf clubs, easily as good as any golf shop I've ever seen, any pro shop I've seen. But do you really want to buy golf clubs at a pro shop? I mean, seriously, who actually buys golf? I bought a wedge at this golf shop because I really wanted to upgrade my wedge. I had some cash floating in my pocket, and I had just gone for this relatively cheap $60 wedge at Dick's. I did not like it at all, and decided I like the concept of getting a 60-degree wedge, but I wanted to get a decent wedge. So I spied this Callaway that I liked. It was a nice Callaway club, and it was $100 and something, $30-$40 for the club. I was like, fuck it, I'm getting this club. I really like this club. I want to try it on this course. I'm just gonna bite the bullet and get it. And I love this club. It's one of my favorite clubs. I probably think I should get something a little less than a 60, maybe 52 or 54, but certainly for what it is, I'm very happy with it. And the thing is, I just would characteristically never go to a pro shop to buy clubs. And I've made some exceptions lately that I will talk about in another video. I don't want to get into it in detail here because this video is supposed to be on Chantilly National. But I did have those clubs with me when I went to play in Chantilly National. And I thought it was just pretty much a pretty easy course. As a matter of fact, playing it from the back tees, it's a slope 125 course, and it is not an easy slope 125. It's a decent slope 125 course. It's sort of like, in a sense, like the, in a sense, it's like Torrey Pines South. A little bit like Torrey. It's got the same kind of layout in a sense. It doesn't have the sea views and everything on in the middle, but it doesn't have the long rough like the first couple of holes of Torrey Pines South does. But it has that kind of flat fairway then green, fairway then green, fairway then green kind of thing. And so to me, I felt pretty much at home with it and in a course, and I parred the first 4 holes, which for me is just unbelievable. I never par the first couple of holes, much less the first 2 holes. I actually got there early enough before my round to hit like maybe 5 balls in the driving range, And trust me, when you walk on a course with equipment that you just spent a good 3 or 4 months buying and tuning it to the way you like it, it's still not quite the way I want it. And then you go out there and shoot, par through the first 4 holes. That's something that makes you feel good. Okay, now I got to watch the length of this again because I tend to run off. 15 minutes. So I would say, having played in this league, one of the benefits of this league is we do play a fair number of private courses. So this is the second or third one I've played. I think it's at least the second. And then we played 1727 the first time on the first round. But I would say you really don't get much out of playing these private courses, except you play with people who would rather play as part of a club than play a private course. Now, is it a better course? Hell no. I have yet to play a private course that is as good as some of the public courses in the DC area, much less nationwide, okay? Much less nationwide. I have never played a better public course than at least half of the courses, better private course than at least half the courses in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area that I've played. Now, if East Potomac Park were to become a private club, I would not be surprised, okay? What is that course? I can't think of it off the head. Centennial, is that what it is? Congressional. That's a private course. That's one of the somewhat famous private courses in the DC area. There are a lot of courses, Bethesda, Country Club, things like, there's courses in Baltimore that I know are private. There's courses out in along 15. Jack Nicklaus has a private course out there. You've got to be at least a resident or an investor in the local development. There's some good private courses out there that I could say that I would like to play. But I fear that the big thing is with any kind of course that's anywhere inside of a urban area, okay, if it's not isolated out there like River Creek or whatever it is out there in Lansdowne, it ultimately gets swallowed up and becomes part of the urban area. That even though the course is private, the area just outside the course is not private. And so where you have housing that builds up around the outside of the course, it suddenly begins to look like an average public course. Okay. You can play Lake Presidential, which is a decent course, but it has a lot of public housing, not public housing, but commercial housing right around the outside of the course. So how could you say a course is all that great of a course if there's a bunch of people that bought a $2,500,000 condo that live right outside the course? A really great course, in my opinion, has a lot of space between the course and any housing in the area. I mean, maybe there's a few here and there that snuck in, but for the most part, there is nothing when you play the course. You don't look in someone's backyard. You don't have to worry about hitting an iron long and carrying it into someone's backyard. You don't have to, oh my God, what was it? There's one course I remember playing. It might be, it's not Lake Presidential. There's a par 3 on the course, and there is a house 50 yards right behind the green, literally right behind the green. If you've got to worry about hitting somebody's house, that's not impressing me. Okay. And I realize that the house is well off the course, I'm off the green. It's well off the green. Okay. But the fact is, if you blade a ball and the thing goes 20, 30 yards, you're up there in that guy's backyard playing back out. Or there's OB running around the side of the course. You've got to worry about going up in someone's yard. The course that I played out in Bryce Mountain, there is a hole. I think it was like the 15th hole where the guy's got netting on the side of his house because so many people hit balls up in his backyard, up in his house is right there on top of the fairway. So, yeah, even that course that we played out in that was near Reston National, but it's not Reston National, Happy Hills or whatever it is. There are a lot of holes in that course with OB just off the fairway. You know, that's so common. Why would anybody in their right mind pay $900 or $1,000 or $1,500 a month to play in a golf club, okay, that has courses like that? Why? That's a lot of money, a whole lot of money. You know, all I can say is that I got on that course for $100, flat rate, boom, as part of this league, and there's no way around it. It's much better to be part of a league in that regard than it is to be part of a club, you know. And okay, maybe they have a members league or something like that. I'm not paying 10 times as much to play in that club. That's not going to happen. So that's my review of Chantilly National Golf Club and Resort. It's not really a resort. It's just literally just a golf club. It's like Wyncote, okay, literally. Very nice clubhouse. Beulah Rock, very nice clubhouse, but still just a golf course. And that's really all it is. And I can't even begin to say that it's a good idea to consider that economically. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk when you need milk? At a decent price, okay? Chantilly National, a B. Sorry. And I'm so glad I didn't have to pay the normal rate or whatever it is to get in and on that course. Not even, I would kick myself if I had done that.